Good morning, everyone. Today is lesson 79 in A Course in Miracles. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. A problem cannot be solved if you do not know what it is. Even if it is really solved already, you will still have the problem because you will not recognize that it has been solved. This is the situation of the world. The problem of separation, which is really the only problem, has already been solved. Yet the solution is not recognized because the problem is not recognized. Everyone in this world seems to have his own special problems, yet they are all the same and must be recognized as one if the one solution that solves them all is to be accepted. Who can see that a problem has been solved if he thinks the problem is something else? Even if he's given the answer, he cannot see its relevance. That is the position in which you find yourself now. You have the answer, but you are still uncertain about what the problem is. A long series of different problems seems to confront you, and as one is settled, the next one and the next one arise. There seems to be no end to them. There is no time in which you feel completely free of problems and at peace. The temptation to regard problems as many is the temptation to keep the problem of separation unsolved. The world seems to present you with a vast number of problems, each requiring a different answer. This perception places you in a position in which your problem solving must be inadequate and failure is inevitable. No one could solve all the problems the world appears to hold. They seem to be on so many levels, in such varying forms, with such varied content, that they confront you with an impossible situation. Dismay and depression are inevitable as you regard them. Some spring up unexpectedly, just as you think you have resolved the previous ones. Others remain unsolved under a cloud of denial and rise to haunt you from time to time, only to be hidden again, but still unresolved. All this complexity is but a desperate attempt not to recognize the problem, and therefore not to let it be resolved. If you could recognize that your problem is separation, no matter what form it takes, you could accept the answer because you would see its relevance. Perceiving the underlying constancy in all the problems that seem to confront you, you would understand that you have the means to solve them all, and you would use the means because you recognize the problem. In our longer practice periods today, we will ask what the problem is and what is the answer to it. We will not assume that we already know. We will try to free our minds of all the many different kinds of problems we think we have. We will try to realize that we have only one problem, which we have failed to recognize. We will ask what it is and wait for the answer. We will be told. Then we will ask for the solution to it, and we will be told. The exercises for today will be successful to the extent to which you do not insist on defining the problem. Perhaps you will not succeed in letting all your preconceived notions go, but this is not necessary. All that is necessary is to entertain some doubt about the reality of your version of what your problems are. You are trying to recognize that you have been given the answer by recognizing the problem. So the problem and the answer can be brought together and you can be at peace. The shorter practice periods for today will not be set by time, but by need. You will see many problems today, each one calling for an answer. Our efforts will be directed toward recognizing that there is only one problem and one answer. In this recognition, there are all problems solved. In this recognition, there is peace. Be not deceived by the form of the problems today. When any difficulty seems to arise, tell yourself quickly, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Then try to suspend all judgment about what the problem is. If possible, close your eyes for a moment and ask what it is. You will be heard and you will be answered. Okay. And as we move on to Tina Spalding's channeling, again, the lesson is let me recognize the problem so that it can be solved. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. This is a very important lesson. As I seem to say very often with these lessons, they are brilliant. They are definitive in the sense they help you narrow your focus into the correct place and in the right direction. When you think somebody causes you a problem, you always look to that person to solve it for you. He or she should not have said that. He or she should change. He or she should not be so independent or clingy. Whatever you decide is the problem. This is one of the ways you guarantee you will never solve the problem, because the problem is one of perception. The problem is within your own mind. It appears out in front of you through the practice of projection, so it seems unsolvable. This is one of the great tricks of ego's consciousness. It constantly creates situations outside of you that change form, deceive you, and tempt you so that you will not go to the one place where the solution lies, which is inside. The answer is within you. It is, as I say in your modern vernacular, an inside job. If you don't know that, if you don't know that getting calm and quiet and going inside to ask for guidance is how to truly solve the problem, then you chase idols all around the planet all your life to try to solve a never-ending line of unsolvable problems. Even when you do solve one, another pops up just as quickly. The idea of asking to be shown the problem and realizing it is separation from all that is, separation from love in that sense, separation from wisdom, there are many forms of separation going on this earth plane, leads you to resolve the problem by the same thing, which is the practice of forgiveness as described in the Course in Miracles text. Forgiveness stops you from attacking the outside, from moving the chairs around on the Titanic to stop it from sinking, and directs you to go inside to do the work there and ask to be shown, what is the distortion in my mind? Where is the problem in my mind? I want to reread that. The question is, what is the distortion in my mind? Where is the problem in my mind? Now, this may seem like blaming the victim to some of you, but we want you to understand you maintain that an entire illusory world in which you live by projection and belief in separation as the fundamental structure of this reality as you understand it. It is through knowing and acting in accord that you are not separate, you come from the same place, you are all made of the same thing, and you are all loved by that which you call God. When the realization is truly made, there are no problems anymore. You have healed the fractured mind of the Son of God. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you tomorrow. I just want to reread that last little bit. It is through knowing and acting in accord that you are not separate, that you come from the same place, and that you are all made of the same thing. So you are all loved by that which you call God. When we realize that, there are no more problems. We have healed the Son of God. And what an amazing understanding that truly when we can create a unification, not all doing exactly the same thing, but understanding that we are all just dealing with separation in our own little unique ways. And so we are all seeking that divine love in our own unique ways. So when you're feeling attacked by someone, you need to look at, okay, so why am I attracting this to me? What is the problem that's distorting my mind that I'm feeling this attack? Because we wouldn't feel attacked on the same level if it weren't within us to feel attacked, if we didn't have that distorted belief system. And then when we look at the other person, we can understand they too have a distorted belief system that is causing them to either be defensive on their own or be offensive um, through whatever their own perception is. When you can stop and go, wait, we're all just really on the same page, but we're coming at it from a different angle, and we think that we are outside of each other, we we can join, and then there are no problems. Work hard to embrace that today. Work hard to stop and ask what the true problem is whenever you are faced with a dilemma today. It's amazing how situations can change when we can let go of the trauma and the drama, and we can understand that all of the problems that come up for us, because they do seem to come one after the other, are simply about separation. Even when we are experiencing death after death after death on the human life form, we feel that it is separation, but the truth of that is there is no separation, and those people that die, those people that leave their bodies, their physical bodies, are no less with us than they ever were. And in fact, they are probably more with us because they are no longer locked into separation themselves. Those people that have left us are on that plane where they understand separation is an illusion. When we have death here of loss of material things, loss of jobs, loss of money, it can be a little more difficult to understand. But remember, it is a way that we are separating ourselves from the love that we are. We are separating ourselves from the truth of who we are, and we are simply identifying it with the symbols of this world. And so the symbols of this world are money, they are jobs, they are statuses, they are all of the material world. When we let go of the separation, we can see first and foremost the irrelevance of the material things in this world. And we can also see that we lose nothing because we are simply moving from one phase to another. We are growing and we are learning. And so the greatest loss can also be the greatest opportunity. I hope that gives you some inspiration and some clarity, and I hope that you find this to be a wonderful lesson for you. Have a great day, everyone.